Welcome to the Brikama Box Mini Stadium again. After the 3 p.m. encounter between Fortune and Dasilame United, which ended in a stalemate, and now we are back again, but this time lately, to bring you the game between the senior players and Amasa. Remember the first encounter between the two, which was later abandoned due to heavy rains, ended in a 1-0 scoreline before the referees put an end to the game due to the darkness, because then the weather wasn't very favorable for them to play. It was too dark, and then there wasn't any electricity available within the Brikama here, and then the game had to be forced to a stoppage. And today they are back here for a rescheduled fixture where they begin the timing of the game from 0, and then they are currently taking on one another here again at the Brikama Box Mini Stadium. Already we are in the 27th minute of the play here into this particular encounter between Amasa and that of the senior players in the replay fixture. Firstly, we will want to give you the starting lineup team. With Abdul Karim Bojang as the for them number 2, number 16 Samsidin Bojang. Buba Saho is the goalkeeper for this particular side, Amasa number 1. And then Ismaila Kujabi is the number 4 for the side. Number 17 also starts Usman Jame. Number 7 Adam Amane. Number 12 John Jame. Number 11 Modlamin Jaju also starts for Amasa. Abdul Aziz Jaju number 9 for the side, and then number 20 that completes the starting 11 for the Amasa side is Omar Baji for this particular encounter. And then for the senior players who are currently defending very well against the Amasa side here, starts with Captain Landin Dabo, known as Del Piro, as number 2 Musa Bojan, number 5 Seku Jaune, number 7, number 99 is the goalkeeper Ibrahim Bojang, who starts in goal for them. And then you have number 12 Abdul Sula Bojan, number 14 Abdullah Bojan, and then number 3 is Bubaba, number 17 Bakari Koli, and then number 11 you have Peter Mendy, number 8 Bamba Barrow, and number 13 Jibril Gassama. Now the senior players are now surging forward. The goal scorer for them in the first game tries to connect well to that particular ball, but it wasn't a very good connection on the ball there. And then Amasa will need to clear their line now through Buba Saho, the netminder for the side, who throws the ball towards the left fullback in the far end, who plays the ball inside the 18-yard area, inside the around the center circle. Now the number 9 turns for Amasa, sends the ball forward towards his running player, who tries to backheel the ball, but again Amasa are on the attack now, but a header away by the senior players, who also eventually cleared their line. Amasa heads. Now Amasa, since the start of this particular game, we have seen them piling up a lot of pressure on the senior players as expected. They were doing that since the start of the game, but nonetheless they are yet to be able to break the deadlock in this encounter. In the first game between the two, it was in the second minute that we have seen the senior players taking the lead through Seku Jaune, who had given them the lead into the game. And then in the 27th minute, we have also seen Abdul Karim Bojan, the team captain for Amasa, leveling up the score for his side. And then that went on to the halftime break, and then when the play resumes, none of the sides was able to add up the advantage into the game up to the final 15 minutes of the game where darkness creeps in, and then the center referees for the fair play of the game had call of the game, and then they are now given the opportunity again by the Brikama Sports Committee to again play the full proceedings of that particular fixture here at the Brikama Boxbar Mini Stadium now. Landin Bojang, known as Del Pero, tries to clear claims for handball, but the center referee wasn't interested, and that is a corner kick to the much younger Amasa side. Quickly taken by Amasa. Now sends the ball inside the area, headed away by the senior players. Amasa again regain position. Player goes to the ground. Nothing says the center referee and allows the play to continue. The senior players now, they are dispossessed again. Amasa is controlling the whole entire proceedings of this game. But the only missing thing and this only thing that they needed most into this particular game is not the dominance of possession, of course. It is at least a goal or goals here to actually go on to win this particular contest. If they fail to do so, that wouldn't be a very welcoming news for them. Knowing that this is a team, senior players, with all due respect to them, these are the players that most of them have missed to in fact go into the fields, much more talking about taking part in competitions like this. So many supporters of Amasa, or in fact supporters of this particular Nawettan, will be having in mind that yes, this is one of the teams that any of the teams will be able to beat, but that has not translated to be actually the reality on this particular ground, because we have seen them played here before against this Amasa side. Then it was a rainy day. Many were thinking if it's a dry day, Amasa will be beating them massively into the game. But again, here is another opportunity for them, but it is still on a stalemate, on a nil-nil score line after 32 minutes of play into this particular game. So we are left with under 8 minutes here before the final whistle is gone. For now, Amasa is on the attack now. The number 11 for them, but he is caught in an offside position. That wouldn't count, even though it is taken on, but that would never count. Apologies again, we have come lately into sawing this particular contest between Amasa Football Club and the senior players at the Brikama Boxbar Mini Stadium. The first encounter that was played between the two was called off with 15 minutes remaining from the normal time, and the committees rescheduled that fixture to today at 5 p.m. As we are seeing, it is still nil-nil between the two sides. The first encounter between the two already, at this time, we have already seen 2 goals, 1 scored by each of the sides, with the senior players taking the lead in the second minute and Amasa responding in the 27th minute. Today is 35 minutes on the clock, nil-nil between the two sides. Senior players are now being given the advantage. Omar Bojang was brought to the ground, and then Kausu Konterada was brought to the ground, and then the central referee plays whistle for a free kick in favor of the senior players. Senior players now. Free kick to be executed by Musa Bojang, who sends along one inside the area. Player jumps for Amasa, but no one was there to connect to that ball, and then safely into the hands of Buba Saho, who sends a long ball inside the area. Amasa picks up possession again. Amasa through the number 7 and tries to dribble past his marker. He does that well to his number 9, who turns Abdulaziz Jaju, plays the ball in the far end now. Amasa attacking in the far end, tries to cross but into the hands of the goalkeeper. A corner kick to the Amasa side. The number 24 is Omar Baji is taking that responsibility for Amasa. He plays the ball short. Amasa now sends the ball inside the area, cleared away by senior players. Now inside the center circle, senior players beautifully turned there by the number 12 for the senior players, who is Omar Bojang, but he was dispossessed, and then Amasa regained possession again. Amasa on the surging forward, beautifully backhill there by Dell. Senior players tried to play long ball, but Amasa regains possession now, sends the ball inside the area. Senior players clear their lines. Mostly this is what they have been doing since the start of the game, senior players, to actually sit behind the ball, and then while they will be allowing Amasa to be dominating the possession into these proceedings, because they know that they will not be able to compete Amasa in trying to possess the ball into this encounter. So what they are doing as senior players, and with the experience they have, they prefer sitting behind and then hitting Amasa on counter-attacking football. Imam. Amasa now, but senior players. Bojang plays the ball to his number 13 in the far end, Ibrahim Jaju. Amasa wins the throw in. Now senior players to Del now, who plays the ball quickly to Westbrook, who goes to the ground claiming for a foul, but the center referee isn't interested in that, and then he allows the play to continue. Now Amasa surging forward. Amasa sends the ball inside the area, but straight in. The netminder Ibrahim Bojang, alias Dida. Player is on the ground now. Already we have played 39 minutes into this contest. It is still 0-0 between the senior players and their opponent, Amasa FC. Treatment from the central referees. Abdul Sula Bojang is currently receiving treatment from the central referee, and then anytime from there the play will be allowed to continue. He is now back on his feet after he's been attended to by the medics on the ground. in the final minute of the first half in the regulation time. We're not sure if there will be any additional time on top of this particular regulation time that has already been played here. 0-0. Amasa must be kicking at themselves if the first half has had to end like this, because they have been pushing a lot. They have been mounting a lot of pressure on the senior players, but nonetheless they are unable to break the deadlock into this contest yet. Now senior players now, but Amasa regains possession through the number 4 who dribbled past his marker. Amasa again surging forward in the far end around the dividing line. Amasa Abdul surges, but a cleared away there by the defender Gabriel Gassama for the senior players. Another corner to the senior players, to the Amasa FC. Still 0-0. None of the side here is able to break the deadlock. Amasa corner take in. Can they clear their line now? The struggle continues. That's the final whistle for the first half, and then 15 minutes of break. Then there we will also be resuming to feature this particular game for you. Welcome back to the proceedings of the second half rather, between the senior players and Amasa Football Club. In the entire first half, we haven't seen any goal being scored by either of the sides. In Amasa and that of the opponent senior player. Karalang Sane now goes to the ground. Nothing says the center referee. Senior players pick up possession now. Ball plays to Adel, but he could not connect to that ball, and then Amasa again clears the airline now. The number 9 for the Abdul Aziz Jaju on the ball now, sends the ball inside the other end, but the defender for the senior players, number 3 Bubaba, who has been very, very instrumental since the start of the game, and in fact the fourth game, which was later rescheduled for today, he was one of the most outstanding players for the senior players, Buba, and today as well he is doing exceptionally well for the senior players, but he is back on his feet. He is awarded a free kick by the center referee, and then Gabriel Gassama will take the responsibility for the senior players. Gassama sends a long ball inside the center circle, head away by Amasa. Buba wins again, clears the ball to Bakari, and then Bakari heads the ball, but Amasa again controls with the number 4 Ismaila Kujabi, but the senior players, rather the Amasa team, has been awarded a free kick. Shortly we are going to see 3 substitutions from Amasa. Amasa cleared, but the goalkeeper was there. Amasa again still inside the area, right? But the senior players clear their line, and then Amasa will need to chase again. Amasa will need to chase again for them to be able to break the deadlock into this contest. Modu Sanyang will be introduced by Amasa. Mukhtar Sedi will also be introduced, and then the number 19 aspirant Tamba will also be introduced into this game. Substitutions as of now: Amasa will be introducing 3 fresh legs who they will be relying on to be able to break the deadlock into this game. And Aspir and Tamba is another player who has been introduced by Amasa. Abdul heads to the running players now. Amasa, can they break the deadlock here? Tries and then a block there by one of the most reliable defenders for the senior players, Bubaba. And Amasa wins a corner again into this encounter. Still nothing separates the two sides. Abdul Karim Bojang to execute that. The captain sends another one inside the 18-yard area. Amasa still on the ball. Senior players are trying to clear their line. Amasa shoots. Well blocked there by the number 14 for the senior players, Abdullah Bojang. Amasa wins the corner again. Omar Baji this time takes the responsibility from the far end. Baji Omar sends a low one inside the 18-yard area, a header inside the area. That is another missed opportunity for the Amasa side. This time a header from the defender, Ismaila Kujabi, but could not trouble or could not give his side a lead into this game. Ibrahima plays the ball short to Buba. Who plays to his number 10, but this possesses Kausu. Conte dispossesses Amasa, still inside, now inside the area. A great tackle there by Kausu Conte on the newly introduced Aspir and Tamba. Now Modu Sanyang is the one executing that corner for the Amasa side. Can they take the lead into this particular game remains unanswered as they keep fighting for a goal here, but the senior players continues rather to deny them from scoring the opportunities that we have seen them creating since the start of the game. Here now Del sends a ball inside the area, but a header away by Amasa. Kausu Conte lets the ball over the touch and a throw into the senior players. Bojang Abdullah sends along one inside the area. Amasa chase, but Buba Saho handles that with ease. Senior players will be introducing two players, number 8 and then the number 18 will be introduced into this game. For the senior players, Omar Sambu is coming in, and as well Bamba Baro. Omar Sambu and Bamba Baro will be introduced in this game, and then Kausu makes way as well. The number 11 Peter Mendy also makes way, and Bamba Baro and Omar Sambu are the two players introduced by the senior players. Foul against Bakari Koli in the far end, otherwise called Kalon. Amasa knocking the ball beautifully inside the senior players half. A throw in awarded to the senior players, who are not in any hurry rather to actually execute that throw in by Bakari Koli. He is walking towards the ball and now hands himself the ball, and then he will be taking the throw, and now he are done. But senior players wins a free kick around the divided line inside their own half. Bamba, the newly introduced Bamba, plays the ball to Del, who sends the ball inside the area. A foul against Amasa on Musa Bojang. Modu Sanyang is being penalized here for a foul against Musa Bojang. Abdu will be receiving instructions from his coach. Del Piero plays the ball quickly to his player and then receives the ball again, but he is dispossessed rather, and then the play continues. But Amasa are now trying to clear their line. Kohli now beautifully backheel there to his player, but Amasa regain position in the process. Amasa again through the number 11, who tries to connect to his player Molami Jaju, but he was intercepted there by Kalon, and then again a clearance here by Buba Ba, who wins a foul in the process against Omar Baji of Amasa Football Club. A great game so far, especially for the senior players who are considered the underdogs before this game is been allowed to kickstart. That was a beautiful turn there by Bamba Barrow to Del Piero, whose pass was intercepted. Amasa again. Amasa will be introducing two more players. Now Amasa surges forward, tries to connect, but the goalkeeper comes off his line quickly and then handles that ball. Dida for his side. Lamin Koli will be introduced soon by Amasa Football Club, and as well Ensa Cisse. Lamin Koli and Ensa Cisse will soon be introduced. Kalon plays the ball shot to Gassama, who plays the ball back to Kalon, and then inside the area to Del Piero, plays the ball to Barrow, who tries to turn. Bamba dispossesses Amasa now. Amasa surging forward through the number 16. Samsidindada Bojang turns, and then to the number 12 now, the new entrant now, turns the number 19 Espir, but senior players clear their line, and then the number 4 for Amasa Ismaila Kujabi plays the ball in the far end and throw in to the senior players. The number 9 for Amasa, Abdul Aziz Jaju makes way, and Omar Baji also makes way for Lamin Koli and Ensa Cisse respectively in these contests. The play continues. Del Piero plays the ball to Kalon in the far end. Kalon tries to connect the number 12 Abdusula Bojang, but he was penalized for a foul. Amasa quickly taking the throw, but a header away by Buba. A very reliable now Sula Bojang, ball headed away by The throw-in has been awarded to Amasa rather. Now number 9 for the senior players will be introduced soon. Number 9 Famara Fofana will soon be introduced. Senior players clear their line. Abdullah Bojang makes way for Famara Fofana for the senior players. Sula Bojang makes way and Famara Fofana introduced. Buba will be taking that, but the ball is played short to him by Ibrahim Bojan Dida. Bubaba Sojes plays the ball to the new entrant, who plays the ball to Barrow sends the long ball to Sawane now. Beautifully done there. He is one of their star players into this particular game. Sawane Seku Jaunerada. Kalon heads away now. Barrow the new entrant now, beautifully done there to Del Pero now. What can he do? Del tries to place the ball that would have been a goal of a beauty in this game, but that would have been a very, very beautiful goal if he had to score that from that angle. Del Piero had his time here in the Brikama Box Bar Mini Stadium. He plays for Brikama United and several other divisional clubs in the Gambia before making his way to the Scandinavia, and then where he briefly played football. Amasa Ensa, now the newly introduced Ensa, crosses but the senior players again clears their line. Ismaila Baji returns to Ensa, who plays the ball to his number 7, tries to play the ball inside the area, but Adam Mane, his shot was blocked. Modu plays the ball back to Adama. Now Ensa Sisi. Ensa turns to Adama again, who plays the ball to Samsidin now. Samsidin tries to connect. Yes, he does well for his number 12. John now the newly introduced player. A player is on the ground. Can they take the lead here? Nothing. That would have been a simple tap in by Amasa, but the number 11 Molamin Jaju stumbles with the ball, and then that it eventually becomes a very, very easy catch for Ibrahim Bojang Dida, the netminder for the senior players. Bubaba is on the ground after blocking that powerful shot from from Asper Tamba. He is receiving the treatment here before the game is allowed to continue. 0-0. We are approaching 20 minutes into the second half. Still, both sides have failed to break the deadlock, even though we have seen a much younger side, which is Amasa, creating a lot of goal scoring opportunities or making some dangerous attacking football in the path of the senior players. On all the occasions that we have seen them doing so, they have failed to capitalize on any. Recently, we have seen Mulamil Jaju coming very close for Amasa, but he was not able to break the deadlock. He just stamped the ball and then it went straight into the hands of Ibrahima Bojang Dida. Ibrahima Bojang alias Dida for the senior players, who is between the sticks for the senior players. And then in the fourth game as well, Dida had a very, very good game for the senior players. He had a very good game, and also Buba Ba also had a very, very good game for the senior players in their previous encounter, in which they played against the same opponents. The game was prematurely ended due to the darkness, because on that day it rains heavily, and then there wasn't any electricity available for the floodlights to function, and which would have allowed the game to continue, but there wasn't electricity available, and then the game had to be rescheduled for today. And then again, Dida has been performing very well again. Buba Ba has been performing very well for the senior players. Corner in the far end for the senior players. Bamba Barrow, newly introduced, takes the responsibility. He's given the green light. Barrow sends the ball inside the area, but Amasa heads the ball. Barrow with the ball again, beautifully done there by Barrow. Tries to cross again and then controls the ball again. He's been doing very well since his introduction, Bamba Barrow, for the senior players, and then the play allows to continue. Senior players inside the area, what can they do about this? Now the newly introduced number 9 goes to the ground, foul against him for a tackle on John Jame for Amasa. Still 0-0 between the, should I say, two formidable sides. Yes, both sides have been performing very well in this encounter, because for Amasa, this is the second game for them. It was a 0-0. It was a stalemate in their opening encounter, so they are hoping to win this particular one. That was a beautiful shot there by Adama Mane, but Dida was resolute. Ibrahima Bojang, as always for the senior players, he's been very instrumental within the sticks, between the sticks rather, for the senior players. Now the Famara Fofana again has been dispossessed. Ensa now surges forward for Amasa. Ensa connects his fellow. No, a deadlock is now been broken here again by the same Amasa captain and the player who had scored for them, Abdul Karim Bojang, in the first game that they played against the senior players. In the 27 minutes of that particular game, he puts Amasa to the parity, and then here in the 23rd minute he has given the lead to Amasa Football Club in the second half, and then Amasa have now taken the lead here through their captain in the 23rd minute, Abdul Karim Bojang. Can they stay on to this scoreline to move the game to their own favor and then go home with the maximum 3 points, as they were yearning for before coming into this encounter? Or are we expecting or anticipating a response from the senior players. Of course they can, but let's see if they will be able to stand the test of the time here and then to rescue a point into this particular contest. But a highly dominant Amasa FC have now taken the lead here against the senior players through their captain, one would say a reliable one for that matter, Abdul Karim Bojang, and also a very, very senior player for the Amasa side. Now the senior player search forward through Jaune, goes the goalkeeper, comes off his line. Buba Saho on time blocks the shot from Sekou Jaune, and then Amasa clears their line. Now Del Pero landing Dabo on the ball for the senior players. Now player goes to the ground, foul again. At a very, very good position for the senior players. You need someone who can deal with the set pieces very well, to be able to place the ball very well, to place the ball well for your players inside the 18-yard area. And then if you're lucky, one of your players can get that green light given. Now Bakari sends the ball inside the area. Buba palms the ball away, and Amasa will again attack. Ensa now tries to connect the new entrant Aspir and Mendy, but a cleared away by Bojang Abdullahi. Amasa are in a hurry to at least score more goals into this contest. It's like the 1-0 scoreline is insufficient or isn't enough for their desires in this game. Dida palms that ball away, and then a corner. The ball is still in play. Bakari Bojang connects. One of the new entrants now, Omar Sambu, dribble passes. Maka now plays the ball to Del Peru, who tries to connect, but Del goes to the ground, and then the player allows to continue. Amasa again quickly taken by Buba. Now the newly introduced Ensa. Since it's coming as well, Ensa Sisi has also been instrumental for the Amasa side. Whenever he's on the ball, he tries to search forward and then looks for opportunities where his team will be able to capitalize on, and then tries to bring in opportunities for his side to capitalize on and then take the lead. Here we have seen them taking the lead through their captain Abdul Karim Bojang. One of the key players for the senior players, Sekou Jaune, is on the ground now, and then he is demanding for a substitution. He will not be able to see the end of the game. Oh, he cannot continue to take part in the game as of now, and then he will be replaced soon by the Suleiman Cisse. Amasa again, but this time the flag of the assistant in the far end has been raised for offside. Amasa will be introducing now Mukhtar Sedi in this game. Mukhtar will be introduced a youngster for Amasa Football Club, will be given some time to also be taking part. Ensa, beautifully done there by Ensa to Asper. Asper now to number 11, but Molamin Jaju has been penalized. In the 30th minute now, Molamin Mukhtar Sedi and then Sekou Jaune, the injured Sekou, makes way for Suleiman Sise. Bojang Abdullah sends along one. Amasa heads now, chested down Abdul Karim, and also the goal scorer who is the captain for this side. Now the new entrant Mukhtar now plays the ball back to Samsidin. Samsidin returns the ball to Mukhtar Sedi now. Sedi calls on his players, plays the ball to Mane in the far end. Samsidin now sends along one header away by Gassama for the senior players. Newly introduced Sambu to another new entrant. Barrow plays to Captain Del Pero, and then to the newly introduced number 9 Famara Fofana, who is currently on the ground. Foul, and then he wins that for his side, the senior players. Musa Bojang and Bamba are there, but quickly played the ball intercepted. Gassama. Senior players are now hurrying up the game so that they will be able to go home with at least a point in the encounter. Bamba sends a long ball towards Del Pero. Del beautifully controlled there by Del, who tries to send. Del still on the ball inside the area. What can they do here? Hits the crossbar. Del now! That would have been a leveler for them. You have seen earlier on Fofana Famara hitting the crossbar, and then the rebound was taken by Del Pero, landing Bojani team captain for the senior players, but his shot went off target. That would have been a great equalizer for the senior players, and you can see the reaction from their technical bench in trying to celebrate even before the goal was scored. The technical coaches for the Amasa side are furious about the decisions taken by the officials of the game before those chances were created. They either felt a foul, offside, or a handball should have been awarded to them. Can still see Sariang still complaining that they should have been fairly treated. And turns the new entrance Modu Sanyang now to Ensa now. Ensa tries to play, but pair inside the area. Aspir and Mendy now. The newly introduced Mendy had doubled the score line for the Amasa side. Under 7 minutes before the regulation time ends. It is Amasa FC 2, senior players 0. They want to score as much as possible in this encounter, so their goal difference
can help them in case such situations arise in qualifying or in deciding the positioning of teams in their group. Answer beautifully torn. Answer plays the ball back now to Abdul Karim, but a foul that is inside the net, but that was offside as spotted by the officials of the game before any kick was taken by Mane. Buba sends a long ball towards Del Piero, but cleared away by Samsidi. Now Calon. Now the newly introduced number 10 dribble pass his marker. Tries to dribble pass again, but he was intercepted. Now Bamba to the new entrant Suleiman Cisse, who plays the ball back to Bamba now. Fofana plays led the ball for Del Piero, who turns. Foul, says the center referee. Now Bakari in the far end. Koli Kalon plays the ball to Del Piero. Del Piero collects. Del tries to dribble pass. Del wins corner. In the far end. Senior players have now won a corner in the far end, and then it was taken, but Amasa are now surging forward with the youngster Mukhtar, who plays the ball short to Modu Sanyang. Foul throw, says the center referee, and the senior players will now take the throw. Suleiman Cisse, but was dispossessed by Ismaila Baji in this encounter. It is 2-0 to Amasa. And Del Piero will be executing the free kick for the senior players. Green light given. Chip that ball, but the Amasa defense line have cleared. Now they are surging forward with Ensa now. Ensa goes to the ground. Foul, says the center referee against Buba. Bubaba. Ensa is still on the ground, and Bubaba have been penalized for a foul on him. 38 minutes already played here at the Brikama Boxbar Mini Stadium in an encounter between the senior players and Amasa Football Club. In which the senior players are trailing by 2 goals to nil. Now Sanyang, that wasn't any near troubling the goalkeeper for the senior players, Ibrahima Bojang alias Dida, who is between the sticks for them. "39 minutes already played here at the Brikama Boxbar Mini Stadium between Amasa Football Club and the senior players, beautifully done there by Buba Ba, who could not later control the ball well, and then the ball rolls over the touch for a throw into Amasa side. 2 minutes to be played in this topic time for Amasa to stay onto the lead and back home the maximum 3 points with 2 goals from this game if they are not able to add up their advantage before the 2 minutes of additional time is being exhausted here, while the senior players will need to regroup and then come back again stronger for their second encounter in this year's Brikama Sports Committee Summer Nawettan. Remember, this is the first year for the senior players to take part in the Brikama Sports Committee Summer Nawettan, as the number of participating teams was increased from 32 to 40. That 7 teams have made their way into the Nawettan proper from the eliminations, plus a spot that was reserved for the senior players to actually be taking part in the Summer Nawettan. And in their first game here is against Amasa, who are leading in this game by 2-0. And then, but before the rescheduled fixture, the game between the two prematurely end on a 1-1 scoreline with 15 minutes remaining in the regulation time due to darkness. But today it's a different story. Amasa have announced their dominance against the senior players, and now leading by 2-0 Amasa, and that is the final whistle here. Amasa going home with the maximum 3 points, while the senior players will need to go back home and then put their houses in order and come back stronger in their subsequent games to be played here. Final whistle, Amasa 2, senior players 0.